I wrote one on a piece of paper, but I haven't put one up yet.
Written it up. Okay, so what I'm going to share with you guys, can you see my screen? There's a formula that we use. So I'm just going to share screen. And it's creating a one of our mentors who's been quite successful in online, where we shared strategies, and he gave us this, and we've done really well with it. So can you guys see my screen? Hello? Can anyone?
Yes. Yeah, we can see it.
Perfect. So it's called the hypnotic story structure. Now, the point behind this is to get people like hooked on it. So you have a really good headline, and you talk about, you talk about problems that could be specific to them, and then you give them, like, obviously you go through here, you give them a reason why they should listen to you. And I guess the best way to explain this is to compare it to my ad. So I'll show you my ad, guys. Hang on. Bali Internet. Komodo Internet.
Did you get yourself a new Mac, did you, Adam?
No, I'm using Dan's. My computer internet wasn't.
I thought you might have made the switch. Yeah.
It's coming. It's coming. You know, I buy put $4,000 onto a new computer. I put that to ad spend. It's like, what do I do? Ad spend. So I'm just gonna load it. So can you like do a half screen so I can have half of this? So I have like the structure next to my ad. Need to. Might have to minimize that. Right. Oh, no, right, this one. So, guys, regards to my ad, the way it's going crazy. It's really, really effective. I'm spending about $3 a lead. I'm getting tons of engagement. I got people sharing my ad. And that's because I'm just being authentic. I told a story and people can relate to it, and people have their own pain points which they can relate to, and they want a solution to their problems, which is what we talk about in here. You're looking around 1,200 words, so you don't want to go too much over that. But, you know, obviously you got your intro here. Like, I got my intro. If you told me, people read that. If you told me in 2018 I would be leaving the 9 to 5, being location independent, having all the time freedom in the world, that's going to hook you. People, if your targeting is right, people are going to be like, you know, they read that like, I want to read more. That's the grabber. That's the grabber. Oh, God. So then you want to create some empathy. So I talk about my pain points. I was 20K in debt, without a home, just an emotional wreck. I've added a bit more emotion to this. Luke, you know my story. We were working the same job, and then we basically went under. Then I was going through a bad phase, a really, really bad phase during this time, and you just talk about it. And then you've got, give them a reason why they should listen to you. In the first paragraph, talk about their problems, how you can solve them. Talk about your own experiences, so talk about your own pain points. And then you just go, I want to share a story. And then once you've gone through all the pain, gone through all the emotion, you've really hit that, you've really touched, you know, why they would be hurting. Then you share to them like what I've done to make a change. And then you talk about your story. It's a personal story. You got to be authentic. You got to be relatable. Don't try to make stuff up. Don't try to be like, hey, look at me, I'm amazing. Like, just really be emotional. You know. Okay.
Yeah, so guys, pretty much with the story as well is the reason why we want to put all your experience, all your pain points, and your hypnotic story is because when your audience is reading through this, they're relating it to their story. So they're going through their pain points and they're relating it to yours. They're like, hey, that's where I'm at right now. And then when you're going through the lifestyle, the vision, the goals where you are today, they're envisioning that for themselves and succeeding at their own goals. So the whole message here is like, it's not about you, it's about them. But your story is going to connect with people on a psychological level. It really is, because everyone cares more about themselves. Doesn't matter who they are. Everyone cares more about themselves than anyone else. So when you're writing this, you're talking, like Chris was just talking about it on the last call, you're talking directly to that person. So when you're writing this story and the emotion behind it, you want to, I guess, understand that that's connecting with people who are in that struggle. So that's why everyone has, their own specific audience.
Yeah. So yeah, in regards to that, do you guys have any questions? Because I've just lost my train of thought.
Transition to your story.
Yeah.
Adam,
Yes.
are you going to share that with us, that structure?
Yeah. You guys will get all this.
We'll share the hypnotic structure story. So we'll share that link with you, and Adam and myself will both share our actual ad links as well, so you can read our stories, and from there you can tailor it to yours. Because I know, Rachel, you were saying you've already got 3 stories written, but I did too, and I thought that I was pretty good at writing stories. But when our mentor showed us this ad, he pulled it apart and goes, no, you need to get rid of this, get rid of that, add this, add more emotion. And I thought I was pretty good at writing my story because I had actually done it for a while. So the whole idea of this is the actual targeting is simple, and Adam and I can jump on a call. We can either do a group one again, a one-on-one, as a group like this, and record it, or we can do one-on-one calls with you guys once your story is right. So what we want to do, it takes time to get your story right. And we want you all to get that story in this format, because that's going to, we're getting, Adam and myself are both getting like 80% opt-in rates, which is unheard of. Like the industry average is like 20 to 30%. And, so far, I've actually made money at elite level, which is very, very rare. So the whole idea with Facebook ads, roughly you'd want to be breaking even at elite level.
Yeah.
That's sort of the industry goal. At elite level, that's your ad spend. Then all your DEA is going to be profits. That's the other thing to think about when it comes to paid advertising. You have to be really, really good to make money at elite level. But if you're a gold and above, this is going to be so profitable, extremely profitable.
Yeah, because everything after that is profit. When you're breaking even at elite, you make no money. It covers your ad spend, and then you get all the back end sales, which is just profit for you guys. So you're netting. That's why we always talk about being in position. It's not about, hey, just to get there. You need to get there to have a fully established business where you've got more products to sell, to earn more money, to make more of a profit on your ads. Because if you're at elite, you can't make mistakes. You have to be completely on point with your advertising. And if you aren't, you're going to probably lose money. But if you're at gold and you make a few mistakes, you're going to still profit. You still got a big profit margin. But you should be breaking it even on elite. So
that doesn't mean you can't test now either. You can still test at elite, but I wouldn't be throwing in. It's hard to scale, and I wouldn't be throwing in a high budget at elite. That's what we're saying. But if you've got your ad there, we've tested it, it's converting, then you've got a scalable business.
Yeah. If that makes sense. So yeah, in regards to all the structures, we're going to share that to you. But there's no point in we're happy to work directly with you guys. Once you got your story up, send us a message. We'll look at it. We'll tell you what you need to change. But in regards to it, you don't really want to move forward until you got that story right, because you're just going to be throwing money away. You're not going to get engagement. You're not going to get as many clicks as you could do. And you just got to write it up, and we'll show. You look at ours, don't mimic ours, have your own story, but you can use the same formula. And then if you do that and you really talk to your audience, we'll show you how to get the targeting right. So whatever your specific niche is, we'll show you how to target them directly. You're going to get people clicking on it all day, and you're going to get really high engagement. And even if we're getting all these people commenting, we can reach out to them and sell them directly through a message. It's not sharing. I don't do that as much because I'm not very big on being on social media. But if you do, if you're an elite, you definitely want to. You want to directly talk to people. So you got all these people. Hang on, let's view more.
YouTube, here it is.
Right. So you get all these people asking for the information. I just give them the link, they click on it, I get a lead, and then they go through it, and then a few of them buy. But if you want to really improve that, you can also directly message them, and they're gonna. I'll show you. I actually did one today. My first one. Yeah, it doesn't. Page doesn't show. It only shows the business manager.
No.
Question.
Yep.
So if someone only likes your ad but doesn't comment, how do you guys feel about still trying to direct message them to follow up?
You can still directly message them. It doesn't hurt. The more personal touch you can do, the better. The higher your conversions will be, to keep it simple.
Especially at the elite level, like what Chris was saying on the last call with that mum was getting 5 leads but converting at 70% or whatever it was. But the more personal touch, if you're going out and even though it's paid advertising, you're still leveraging that ad and putting that personal touch and going out like Adam here is writing a personal message just because he can.
Yeah, just
at the end of the day, when you're doing $1,000 a day ad spend, once you've scaled and you're killing it, you're not going to be doing that, obviously. But in the beginning, if you're at elite and you're trying to scale, if you can increase your conversions by doing that and you've got the time to do it, 100% do it.
Yeah, and like I just said, hey Elizabeth, what made you post digital on my post? I didn't even go into too much detail, and she gave me a big spill. So if your targeting is not right, you're going to get the same type of people who are, entrepreneurial, looking for something more, and they come through. A lot of them will go for your email list. A lot of them sign up after, but you also get a lot of front end sales too. And, when you're spending that money and you're not getting sales straight away, you're still building that email list, right? And that email list, once you keep growing that, we sent an email, 2,000. I think I got 1,500 people open one email last night. And, you get sales from that. So that you're paying to build your list, plus you're paying to get, obviously, the SFM sales as well. But you're getting the bet. It's always good. Sorry, does someone have a question?
I was just going to ask, are your leads just people signing up to your email list, or do you count that as like an actual application?
No, that's an email list. A lead is a person who opts into your email list. A sale, an app is what we call it, is a person who actually buys at $29.95. So every time someone opts in, that's a lead. Every time you get an email, that's a lead.
So for a lead with Facebook, we want to try to keep them below $7 US per lead. So at the moment, Adam and I are doing around $3, which is really good.
Yeah.
But good is still under $7. So that would be our goal for everyone, to be under $7 US.
Very good. And yeah, so do you guys have any questions? Rachel? Let's have a look at. Share. Do you want to share your ad?
I have a quick question though. Can I have just one quick question?
Sure.
Adam, Daniel,
Yep.
When you guys are sending, sorry, Rachel, the link when you do create that ad, and that link goes to your website, correct?
Yeah, goes to our sales funnel, similar how we've got on Instagram. I'll share that with you.
Sales funnel.
I'll show you the sales
We'll
process.
share the funnel as well with you guys. Funnel link.
So where's my Facebook? Oh yeah. We'll get that.
On internet.
We'll get that, guys. So the way I do it, I don't actually have a link on the ad. I wait till people comment, and because you're going to get more engagement on the ad, like people actually commenting all the time, liking it. If you got the link in the actual ad, you're not going to get comments. You get less engagement. It doesn't look as good. But basically, when someone runs digital, or every time after like 5 posts of digital, I'll just post the link in there, and then people click on it. It goes to this is where it goes to. Very, very basic. You don't want to overcomplicate it. If you do, use people too much. I've got this little here saying it's not endorsed by Facebook. It keeps Facebook happy, but just basically promoting a 7-day video series. People put their email in. Just do mine. So you've got a bridge video. If you guys don't know what a bridge video is, it's basically a video introducing yourself and then putting people onto SFM. So opposed to them just putting their email in and going straight to Stuart, they don't know who Stuart is. They didn't buy into Stuart. They bought into you, right? So by having a video of you in the middle, just basically saying, hey, I'm here, I'm a real person. You know, you're going to build that trust. People are going to be like, hey, this guy is actually legit. And then once they watch it, I can play that.
Hey guys, how you going? Adam here. Cheers for connecting with me and seeing what I have to offer. I really do appreciate it because your time is valuable. Now you're probably here because you're looking for an opportunity that's going to allow you to follow your boss. You want to travel more. Maybe you just want to build a side income. Maybe you just want more time with your friends and family and focusing on bridges. Now, the opportunity I had is the same opportunity I've used and thousands of other people have used to be able to create a full-time online consistent income. Once you're in, make sure you look out for an email from me. So I'll definitely be connecting with you, and we're going to get you connected with our support network and our groups and our team, so you're never left on your own. Now, to get started, all you got to do is click on this link below, follow the prompts, and I'll see you on the inside.
And so you don't have to.
I like your decorating. A nice background you had there.
Oh yeah, I feel like we got similar backgrounds, hey?
Does anybody recognize this?
No, I don't think anyone will. Basically, that's at Luke's place. Me and Luke.
Yeah, well, like if you look behind me, it's the exact same as what was in the video, except without the chili plant.
Yeah. So yeah, people click to get started today, and then they just go to another video where Stuart talks about it. I'm testing out a new funnel. Well, not a new one. It's similar for us. After about 5-10 minutes, a button's going to pop up, and they can pay the $29.95 to sign up. And that's the process we go through.
Are you getting better responses from this new video?
I haven't got enough data.
Too early.
Yeah.
But we'll share that as well when we've got data, what's converting better.
Yeah, we're just split testing at the moment. So, but yeah, that's basically the
Another
sales.
question.
Yeah.
So are you guys only driving traffic from Facebook right now? So like any memberships you get will be people from your Facebook ads,
Facebook and
besides your Instagram and like just organic stuff.
yeah, just Facebook. Yeah.
And are you just always on?
I'm never on. I haven't even got a phone at the moment.
No.
Well,
No, I mean like are your ads always on?
Yeah, the ad's running on 24/7.
Yeah. But your ad still says like how I left the 9 to 5 and stuff, and I'm like,
That's my
I don't know.
story. That's my story though. That's not your story. Don't try to copy us.
yeah, I know.
You know,
But I'm like,
you don't have to write the exact same story. You know, figure out, like I'm looking for just figure out, your story. Just have a good headline. What will hook people? What will grab them? What will grab their attention? Because
but what was your story then before you left the 9 to 5?
remember is that 99% of people are working jobs. 99% of people don't go full-time straight away. Chris went back to work in a liquor store. Well, I started 2 years ago. I only left work.
Yeah, but back then, how did you get people to buy into you back then when you were doing the 9 to 5 thing?
It's always the vision. It's always talking about what you're trying to create and what you're working towards. You don't have to mention that you're You don't have to mention that you're traveling the world full time, and you don't have to mention that you're working 60 hours a week if you don't want to. It's just targeting the pain points, relating to them on that level. Like, what are you frustrated with right now? Like, tell me right now, what are you unhappy with in your job right now? Where are you frustrated? What are your pain points? Because I know you got them.
Just everything. Like, I hate my job. I mean, I love my job, but I hate the people I work with. Like, no one's encouraging. No one has big visions. Like, no one really wants more for themselves. It's just very like,
so talk about that. Yeah. Share that part. That's your pain points, and going into detail and sharing the emotion. How does that make you feel? Yeah. Why do you want to get out of that? And that you were searching for something more. You don't have to have already achieved it. You're searching for something more, and finally you found a way. Finally you found something that you're passionate about that's going to allow you to fulfill your passions. That's it. You don't have to say you're traveling the world, you're doing all the lifestyle, but it's the vision and the direction that you're moving, and a solution to that problem to get out of that. Talk about the community in SFM, talking about, you know, the positive people, the mindset shift, the business skills, the marketing, whatever you want to talk about that's related to your niche, because it doesn't matter what your niche is, you're going to have those people that are relating with you and that are going to buy into you.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, how many people do you reckon feel the same way in their current workplace? I know probably every job I've had, I've always felt, you know, if I read an ad about saying, hey, talking about that to me, saying being in a workplace where you don't feel like everyone's happy, you know, you feel like you're not meant to be here, like everyone's negative, there's no vision. I try to do more in my workplace. I get put back down, you know, like I'm pretty sure everyone can relate to that. Everyone who's looking to do something more of their life can actually relate to that, because a lot of jobs are like that. Yeah. You know, write a story about that. Write what it means to you, and just put it out there. You don't have to talk about, like, I'm only writing I left the 9 to 5 because I actually did. If I didn't do that, I would never mention that. And not saying that is kind of also lying to myself, because I did do that. But you don't have to write about that. People aren't buying into that. They're buying into me. That's the way it works.
And that's how I learned, is when I was working a job, like my mentors back then were always talking about share the vision. Where are you going? You know, that's where you're going. And these there's so many things, so much value and so many things that SFM already provide just in their education program, where that's what people are looking for. People want something. People are looking for more. They need a direction. They need a path. So they don't need the end result. They just need the first step. And that's what you're introducing.
Yeah.
You're just getting them that application, that first step, and the system will do the rest. The system will do the selling. Justin Wolf has built 3 8-figure businesses. All the business consultants there are 6 and 7-figure earners. They're successful online. They share the vision and the story and the success and the training. So I think that's pretty much it. Does that give you clarity?
Yeah, it does.
The best, just start writing. Yeah, that's the best thing. Just start to write your story and it will come to you. Don't worry about it. Like, the best motivation is actually.
Yeah, I have some already that I just want to tweak, but also, do you guys I know Daniel was telling me you guys just advertise in like US, Canada, UK, Australia?
Yeah, New Zealand.
Do you own
New Zealand and Singapore.
How do you split your budget though? Like, do you just spend like $5 in each of those countries? Like,
so we split it more by ages, not countries. So we basically have, like, this is getting a bit more detail, but we have different ad sets, right?
Yeah.
So we're spending like $35 to $40 a day, and then we see which ad sets are converting the most, and then you find out where the data's coming from and which is converting the best, and you hone in on that. But at the start,
so you just have one campaign and then you split out all the ad sets.
Yeah, correct. So when you're starting out, your main goal is to get that data. You're still going to get leads, you're still going to get sales, but once you really understand your data and where your ads responding the best, then you can really hone in and you can really get wicked conversions.
Do you reckon no one focuses on like other countries like Japan and Korea and like other like non-English speaking countries because it's a culture thing? Or
we do Singapore only because it's pretty much one of the most wealthiest countries out there.
I've had a few members from Singapore,
but
I mean, you got to really.
Why though?
It's an English-speaking company, right? So if a lot of people can't understand the content, you might get the odd. Yeah, you might get the odd win, but you're probably going to get a lot more by targeting those main
You're going to
countries.
burn through a lot of money.
I mean,
Yeah.
we've got an audience of 9 million people. We're doing actually targeting different people. So we've got like 9 million people each to choose from. So 18 million people. And that's always going to keep growing, right? There's always going to be new people coming in.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get through 9 million people in years. By then there'll be another 9 million people. So it's not about like you're going to have other people targeting that, but it's all about you're not really competing against them because people are buying into you, right? There's no competition in that. Only you can be you. Right? So
Yeah.
the best you.
Yeah.
So,
And for those of you that don't know what ad sets are and you don't have any idea what we're talking about, that's fine because that's when we're going to go more personal behind the scenes. The first point is just really getting that story 100% ready to go. Everyone's got a different audience. Everyone's targeting is different. So we'll work with you to set that up, your ad sets and your targeting.
Yeah. Once you got that ad done, everything's easy. The rest of it's easy. But writing the ad is the hardest part. But once you've done that, you're good. And then we can probably, once it's done, you're happy with it, we'll say, yeah, that's really good. We can have an ad running for you like in an hour. But until you get that ad up and running, ad done, we can't really do too much. But
I'm literally writing mine now. Within this conversation.
Awesome.
Like I'm writing my ad for Facebook now.
Perfect. If you could if you could type it up once you've written it out, so we can look at it and we can edit it on the spot, that'd be really good.
Yeah.
All right. So
just do like
I'll write it up, send it to you, and then can we then work together one-on-one, share my screen with you, and you can show me how to put it on the internet, on Facebook?
100% happy to do that.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll record that as well for everyone else.
I'm happy to do that with everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone actually writes their ad out. I'll go through each ad and make sure it's like...
It's easy to do one-on-one on that part. It's really hard to sort of do a group call because everyone's targeting is different. So that's why I was saying the group call to get your hypnotic story perfect, and then we can go through one by one when you're ready and do your targeting because it's different to everybody.
We might actually, because since you guys all want to do this, we might create a separate chat group for everyone just to split it up so we're not confusing the rest of the people who aren't up to the stage of doing Facebook ads. So what I might do, I'll create it right now actually. Give me a second. I'm just going to create a messenger group.
Daniel and Adam, should you have this ad going long, or short and sweet?
1,200 words.
1,200 words. That's a long ad.
Yeah, 1,000 to 1,200. Yeah. It is.
Okay.
It's a story. It's a powerful story. That's why we call it the hypnotic story. Because the idea behind it is when people are reading it, they're getting stuck in it. They want to know what's next. They want to hear it. And that's why we're getting so many people read it to the end, because when people read it to the end, they're sold. That's why we've got 80% opt-in rate, which is ridiculous because people have been sold on our story and they want information. They want to know more. And if you don't go deep enough in the story, people are just going to they're going to stop reading it. They're going to flick past. They're going to scroll down, and they're gone. You've lost them. So the story is the most powerful part to get them in. It's your bait. Yeah.
We got.
I've just been going through module 4 and set up the about page, and that's pretty much a story of yourself, and mine worked out about 1,200 words. I don't think Stuart Ross actually put in like how long it should be, so I felt like 1,200 was almost a bit of a manuscript. But I mean, if that lines up perfectly, what do you guys think about kind of taking your about page from the webpage for anybody who has done it, and then editing, tweaking it, and then using that as the ad?
I mean, once we'll give you the formula, and just tweak it to that. So as people are reading through the story, right, you're subconsciously, you're not selling to them, but you're subconsciously like really getting them hot. Like they're reading it, like I can relate to this, and it keeps them, and they get really intrigued. By the time they finish that ad, they finish reading all that, they're ready to opt in. They're ready to basically, you can tell them to do whatever, because you've ticked all the boxes. So we're just creating our Facebook group for you guys now. So we got Messenger, just a private one, and we'll grow this too. Perfect. Add a logo later. But if you guys want to, we can have a look at your ad, Luke, or your not your ad, your About Me page, and I can have a read through it, and we can see how it looks.
Like right now on this call?
Yeah.
All right. It was kind of written up as like a first draft, but aside from that, I think it was.
It took me about 5 drafts to get mine right. So
Yeah, I went through a few as well, so that's completely fine.
if you can share your screen. Yeah. I've just posted the formula too in the group.
Thank you.
All right, this is it here. Can you guys see this?
Yeah. Yeah.
How are we going to do this? Adam, do you want to read it out?
Yeah, I'm just having. Sorry, I was just reading it silently.
Oh, great.
So, from an early age, I had a burning desire. Do you want to read it out? Tell us your story, Luke.
All right, here we go. Who's ready? I've got an audience here. All right, so obviously the title starts. I don't know if I like the layout or the titles. I just put it in there. So for decades, I couldn't believe this is all my life was going to be. Is this really it? I was certain there was something more to live for. After years of digging, I finally found it. So my story. From an early age, I had.
Wait,
What's
just that? That's a really good grabber, right? You know, like that's really going to get people engaged. And you're not talking about leaving the 9 to 5, right? You're not talking about anything like that. You're just talking about you've found something that's going to solve your problems. That's perfect. Yeah. Yeah, go on, Luke. Sorry.
No, it's fine. I think a lot of people have that. You know, like that's something I did right as. You know, so many people I think today are, you know, thinking like, is this really what life is all about? Do I go to work, make my $800 a week and then spend any savings I have going drinking at the bar? Like I saw my friends in the same cycle, in that same rut. Yeah. I was like, is this really it? You know? Yeah. So it's partly how I made my way here. So my story, from an early age, I had a burning desire to live a life worth living. I'm from a small farming town in New Zealand of barely 1,500 people. My best friend, Bender, the border collie. In a town such as Tarka, it was easy to watch days stretch into weeks, weeks into years, without feeling like much changed or progressed in any meaningful way. Looking back now, most of my friends from my childhood have since turned to drugs, crime, or the unemployment line. I'm grateful I managed to get out when I did. Otherwise, I may have ended up in a similar situation to them. It was a month after my 16th birthday. I packed up the little belongings I owned into a suitcase and moved to Wellington. I had no friends, no family, and didn't know a soul in New Zealand's capital city, just like I had planned. From an early age, I'd always considered myself an introvert, choosing to rather avoid social events by staying home, wasting away countless hours in front of my computer. World of Warcraft had been my drug of choice. Despite my human paladin being the top healer in my guild, I reviewed the trajectory of my life if I continued living this way day in, day out. It was bleak. Social anxiety, awkwardness, or some level of discomfort is something I'm sure most of us have went through as teenagers at some stage. But as I'm sure you can relate, things tend to get blown out of proportion at that age. If you're going through something like that right now, not to worry, you're not alone. I included that partly because I think the avatar that I was targeting as well is kind of people that are, you know, kind of scared to go outside their comfort zone. I thought they could connect with some people, After hours of self-criticism, I made a decision to set out on a path of social mastery. My move to Wellington would force me to step out of my comfort zone and interact with people I'd never met or had any social connection to. Struggling to pay my way through my final years of high school, I would oftentimes find myself penniless and hungry and would resort to raiding the dumpsters behind the major supermarkets. Times were desperate. 18 months after moving to Wellington, I was halfway through my final year of high school when I talked my way through early entrance to university. That's a story for another time. 3 days after being accepted, only 10 days after actually applying to Auckland University of Technology, I packed my life into the back of a VW Polo and took the 9-hour drive to Auckland. This is where I spent the next 12 months, sleeping in my brother's living room hammock, living the uni not so high life. I finished my first year of social sciences. Although I had fun and learned a reasonable amount of what I wanted to learn, I decided I couldn't commit for another 3 to 4 years. I just couldn't justify racking up a debt for education for a job that possibly won't even exist at the time I graduate. This was a major decision. It was from here where I truly realized the traditional path wasn't going to work for me. A couple of months before my 19th birthday, in the pursuit of a better life, I packed a small suitcase with the bare essentials and moved to Sydney, Australia. So far, I had put myself into the socially uncomfortable situation, moving out of home at a young age to a city where I knew no one, basically throwing myself in the deep end. Studied the theory behind behavioral and social interactions, and continuing my journey towards social mastery, I questioned what would be the next progression. Within a week of arriving in Sydney, I landed myself the most socially challenging, confrontational job I could find, door-to-door sales. Door-to-door sales is not the most glorious industry to work in, but there's nothing else that competes or even comes close to the applicable knowledge you'll learn. Forbes did a fantastic article called Door-to-Door Selling. There's a link there I've included. Keep in mind, this is my about page, so I'm just saying, I've added some value in there, not so much just an advert. So this article here, which lists numerous super success stories from some big names who started their journey to riches doing door-to-door. You'll be surprised how many there are. Check out the link above after you finish my story first, of course. 6 months of selling electricity and reading hugely influential books such as Little Red Book of Selling, How to Win Friends, Influence People, and Emotional Intelligence. To name a few, had taught me an immense amount about the social matrix and how we think and interact with one another. It's true what Jordan Belfort says about sales being the key to unlocking whatever you desire. It was from here where I went on to run sales teams in various companies, both residentially and business, selling various products from gas, electricity, solar system, charity, software platforms, and even the most recently, stockbroking in true Belfort fashion. If you lived in Sydney at any stage between 2012 and 2016, there's a good chance one of the pushy door knockers who convinced you to switch power companies was somebody I'd trained. Sales is an incredibly lucrative skill set to possess. We live in a world where everything is for sale. Master sales and you'll never have a problem generating income. Among my trials and tribulations as a salesman, I met and learned from some of the most successful and powerful people in the industry. Two of my greatest teachers were a couple of guys who were also my age. These two enlightened cats were the early adopters in my life that introduced me to the idea of passive and semi-passive income. Like me, I'm sure many of you have probably heard of passive and semi-passive income streams before. Maybe seen on TV the 17-year-old Amazon affiliates making multiple millions, or the Amway endorsers raving about how they made all their hopes and dreams a reality. Yes, what they've set up is passive and semi-passive income for themselves. Just like a job, career, or source of income, not all are created equally. There's probably a bunch of things you would never want to do yourself, but someone else won't mind doing. I can think of about 42,000 things I'd never want to do, but someone else does, and that's what keeps society functioning. Amway is an example of something I tried but didn't work for me. Network marketing as a whole, although it can work for some people, it is for people who can work it. Personally, even with all the sales expertise I have accrued over the years, I'm terrible at selling to friends and family. In my experience, knowing what something is versus knowing how to do something are vastly different things. Adam and Thor, shout out to you, Adam. And then also Thor here. No joke, that's his real name, like the god of thunder. I knew I was onto a winner when I first met him. Both from different corners of the planet, shared valuable insight which changed my life significantly. If you want to retire early, have time freedom, earn income enough to share experiences with friends and family, then passive and semi-passive income are the most valuable assets for living a fulfilled life. I've since refined and improved upon these ideas. These two shared with me. Now it's my purpose to share these with the world.
Cool. So definitely.
Not super salesy, but it's relatively, that's my about page on my webpage, as you can see.
Sorry if we got this background noise, but we got some
Loud, that
real live
background?
band. But regards to that, Luke, very good about me. But if you're doing that as an ad, too much detail and not enough emotion, you got to talk a lot more about how you're feeling. Obviously, this wasn't an ad, so it's fine. But when you are writing ads, you got to talk about how you're feeling at the time. Can you guys? This is fine. We'll get past. We'll get through it. But yeah, so there's a lot out of there I just cut out and then changed the bits you cut out to more just like, this is how I was feeling, yada, yada, yada. Talk a bit more about your struggles.
Right, okay.
Which is fine. I mean, I can show you, I can share my story with you guys if you like. Do you guys want to read it?
We'll share it in the link. We'll
right.
share both of them so they can read through them.
Yeah.
I'd love to read yours, yeah. That'd be good, please, if you
We'll
could.
share them in the group chat we've just made. Adam's, I think you've already shared the hypnotic story.
Hypnotic story,
So we'll both share our ad stories with you guys so you can read both of them.
There's a few random other stories there too, but we don't know those people. We just, you can check them out as well. But it's really getting to the point. You don't want to stray from the path at all. You just want to get straight to the point. Don't give them too much detail, but also share your story at the same time. Once you read our stories, you understand what we're saying. But yeah,
that's pretty much.
Cool. Do you
That
guys?
seems really long though, even though with all the emotion and everything. See, that was about 1,100 words, but it felt like a manuscript. If you're putting that in an ad, it works.
When you get the hypnotic story right, people want to keep going.
Yeah.
Like when I was reading Adam's, I knew his story, but when I was reading it, it's like, what's next? Your hypnotic story, you're attached, you're into it, and you're living it and feeling it, and it just flies by. Because I'm not a big reader. I don't like to read long posts, but when I was reading it, I was hypnotized. I was in it, and it just went. All of a sudden, I was at the end, and that's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And it's hard to know that with yourself, and that's why we're here to critique each other, because it's hard to know when you're reading your own thing. Once it's right, it works.
I'm going to have to bounce, guys, but thank you so much. And Luke, I just wanted to say thank you so much for sharing your story. Like, I really admire people like you that just do things like moving across the country, not knowing anyone. Like, I don't think people realize how actually hard that is. Like, it's insane.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
thank you so much for listening.
Amazing story. So yeah, and saying with the guys, I would just put more emotion into it and say what you found with this community. And people 100% want you to lead the way. So
Sure, great. Thank you so much for the feedback.
That's all right. Good luck, and see everyone soon. Talk to you soon.
No worries, guys.
Bye.
See ya.
Cool, guys. So, I mean, I think we're running out of time, but do you guys have any other questions about that? So, if not, what we'd recommend doing then is, you get the structure, you'll get our stories too, and just write. So even if you don't know what to write, just start writing, because even if you're not you'll get motivated from taking action. You'll get motivated as soon as you start writing those few first words. You'll be it will start flowing out. But until you actually get onto the computer saying, I'm going to write this, nothing will come.
And just take yourself back. I mean, take yourself to all the things that are frustrating you when you talk about the pain points. Just really share what's real, be authentic, and it will come. And if you can, try to put it onto a Google document and then send it. If you're happy to, we could even send it into the group chat so everyone else can see each other's and hear each other's story. If you're not comfortable with that, just send it to Adam and myself personally. And we'll help you to tweak it. Once it's tweaked, we'll get on a one-on-one. We'll set up your targeting, and we'll make the ad live.
It'll be up and running.
Sound good?
Sounds good.
All right, guys.
All right. We got some.
All right, so Daniel,
Yep.
I'm just writing my story now, and I'm trying to get 1,000 words, you said? And then did you want to jump on a one-on-one call so then we can make it go live?
Yep.
Yeah.
Just put it on a document once you got it finished on a Google Doc and send it through.
Not sure how to do that, so I'm just writing it in the chat.
That should be
Do you
fine.
want is that okay?
I'll send you a link to a Google Doc. Just all you do is Google Doc, Google.com.
Or do you have
Google Document.
Yeah. Do you have Microsoft Word?
No, I use an iMac.
Yeah.
Mac
So if you Google, Google Documents, it'll come up, and you can just literally type
Google
it
Documents.
and share it.
Google Documents, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are we sharing that document through chat, or is that
We've already shared
directly
it.
emailed to you guys? Or okay,
We'll,
chat?
we'll share ours through the chat. Yeah.
Yeah, the formula's been shared in the group already, so you guys can use that.
Okay, this music's killing us, guys. we'll leave it at that. And yeah, Rachel, when it's finished, send it through, and we'll go from there.
Yeah. Cool, guys.
Probably about half an hour, I'll finish it.
No worries. We'll go get something to eat, and we'll be available
We're
Okay.
we're on a boat today, or is that tomorrow?
tomorrow.
All right. So yeah, the next few days we're going to be offline. We'll be on a boat, but
Yeah, for next 2 days.
yeah, after that though, we'll be back into the swing of things. So we'll be able to go through it all. But yeah, get your stories up and running. Just post them in the chat, and we'll go through them for you.
Cool. We'll chat to you guys soon.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Cheers.
Yeah, thanks.